Hello everyone, this is Dr. Swapnil Chandratre here. I get lot of queries and questions regarding which state to choose to come to Germany for dentist. Many of the dentists have blindly followed the doctors because there is a lot of information regarding the doctors, but not much regarding the dentists. So many agencies are also following them and put dentists randomly into the states where doctors are good and required and something like that, and I could get the email that now they are stuck and what to do and what not to do. This problem is happening because many of the people are not aware of this exact situation, how it is going on with the dentistry, because it is totally different than the doctors. So today we are going to discuss that what are the factors to be considered before you choosing the state for dentist. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to it because such information you will not find anywhere. And let's get started. So, for choosing the state, you have to understand and keep in mind some criteria, and I will be going to discuss all those criteria one by one. The first criteria you should keep in mind is about the job opportunities. Where is you are going to get a good job opportunity and where you are going to get a good future. So regarding the future of dentistry in Germany, I have already made a detailed video that what is going to happen in the future. If you haven't checked it out, the link will come here, and you can watch that video again and have yourself a proper idea about the future of the dentistry. So basically everywhere the opportunity is normally the same. The only difference is that when you apply for your first job, you are competing with the fresher or the other dentists who are passed out from Germany. So what is the scenario here is that these students generally learn and study in the big metro cities, and they also prefer to get settled into the metro cities, and they definitely get I will say that more chance compared to us, and they get the better preference because they have already learned the German system, and the clinic owner will require less time to train them, so they will get a better opportunity than us. So normally when we apply and when we find a job, we generally have to search for the job in it is better chances that you get a job in grade 1 city or grade 2 city. So yeah, and sometimes villages also. You should be ready to step into anywhere, because in the beginning the landing a first job is always a challenge, and with that you can find a job anywhere. So in that way it will remain everywhere the same. The only thing you have to understand is that to find a job, it is very important that you are allowed to do the job. That is another thing. Now how does that work? So as per my knowledge, in Bayern, in Hamburg and in Saarland, these three states do not allow a dentist who have a temporary license, which is after passing the FSP exam. With this temporary license, you cannot treat any patients which have a government insurance. So you are not allowed to treat those patients. So the thing is that 90% of these patients have the government insurance here. So and only 10% have the private insurance, and those private insurance patients are generally rich people, and they prefer to be treated by the clinic owner, or your boss, or HOD or something like that. So because of that, you are not going to be too much beneficial to the clinic owner, because you are not going to treat any patient, you are not allowed to treat any patient. So that's why in these states, what I have heard is landing a job after FSP as an assistant dentist, it is little bit tougher, and the chances will become lesser. So what they are doing is that they will not say you on your face, but they will give you the position of dental assistant. So not as a dentist, but as a dental assistant, and they will say that okay, you can work as a dental assistant with a lesser salary of a dental assistant, and once you clear the KP, we will give you the contract as assistant dentist. So that is the scenario that can happen. So probably if I am in your position, I would personally avoid those states where you are not allowed to work as an assistant dentist, because that will, unnecessarily waste your years. So that is the one thing you have to keep in mind. Except that the job opportunity is everywhere the same, so you don't have to worry about it. Future is also very bright. That is the first point regarding the jobs scenario in terms of choosing the state. Now, second point you have to keep in mind is in terms of exam difficulty. I get this question very much, that which state has an easier exam, which state has a good passing rate or something like that. Well, to answer that, I would say that anything is tough or easy, it's a subjective thing. Okay, some might find some exam tougher and other find it easier. So there is no clear cut answer to that, but I'll try to explain that. In terms of FSP exam, I have heard that in these states like Bayern and Hamburg, the passing rate is higher, and many of the students are passing it very easily. It is not always, I might be wrong, but what I have heard from the people, that passing rate is higher. Maybe the reason for that is that this certificate has a lesser value, because dental council also knows that with that certificate you are not going to get a job. So that might be one of the reason. But my thing is that you should always focus on your KP exam, not FSP exam, because end of the day you need to clear the KP exam to get a permanent license, right? So even if you have a easier exam in these states, you are not going to get an easy KP exam, right? KP exam is going to be same everywhere, so it is not going to make any of the difference that you get a FSP exam maybe easier. I might be wrong, they not be easier, but even if you get easier FSP exam, your KP exam is your goal, and that is everywhere the same. So in terms of getting the easiness of the exam, I wouldn't say that state would make a lot of difference. Okay, everywhere nowadays the scenario is the same. Previously it was something like that, and it is also depend on too much with the luck. Some people have good luck and they clear these exams very easily. Some people get a tougher pathway to go through. So those are the things, those are the challenges that can come on your way. So don't overthink regarding that. The KPE exam will remain the same. State doesn't play a huge role in that. So coming to the third point, what are the third thing you should keep in mind? The third thing is that regarding the timing of a documentation process, that how fast in which state you will get the deficit decide faster, and which state you will get it slower. Well, as per my knowledge, in every state, when you apply for the application for approbation, that is, approbation means your permanent license, that is your goal. So when you apply for this documentation in that application form, it is almost in every state it is written then you will get the deficit decided in 4 months time. Now here is a catch, that 4 months time is generally considered after you have solved all the queries. So it's not like that okay, you have submitted all the documents and now in 4 months you are going to get it. Okay, generally when you submit your documents, you have to wait minimum 3 months before you get any answer, that which are the documents is missing and which are the documents you need to complete, which are the documents you need to give them again, and something repeat some documents or something explanation and all that. If you are able to successfully solve that query and all the queries, when you solve it, after that generally you have to wait for 4 months before you get the deficit decide. Again, it has been written as a 4 month, but there is no time stamp to that. Okay, there are different experiences of different people. I have seen people getting deficit decide in total 6 months also. I also know some people who are waiting for deficit decide for more than 1.5 years also. Okay, so there is no particular fixed timing. It is also depend on demand and supply thing. Sometimes in some states there are more applications, in some states there are less applications, so that also depends on the timing. And there is no official source of telling that in which state how many applications are there and in which state how many applications are not there. So those are things are not official. Yeah, if you have some good context, you can know these things. Otherwise there is no legal information that is in which state these applications are more and less. So those are all generally the rumors. So this is the thing. So I would say that this is completely a luck based thing, and important thing is your documentation, that how good you do your documentation. That way you will get the answers faster. I have seen many people who are doing their documentation on their own. They generally face more queries and more problem, because one of the thing is that when you do your documentation on your own, generally you deal with authority directly, and if you are living in your home country, if you are already living here with as a dependent visa or something like that, then it's a different thing. But if you are living in your home country and answering everything on email, you need a very good command of your German language. You should know that how official speaks here. You should know how to react to their email and how to solve that query, understand that high level of German. So sometimes those are the challenges that come, and that's why the process gets prolonged and prolonged and prolonged. So my personal suggestion is that always take the help, professional help for the documentation agency, or even if you choose the agency, always go with those who have personally gone through with the same process. Okay, because if they have tie up with someone here in Germany, like they are sitting in their country and they have tie up with some schools here in Germany, then it is not going to work very good, because every country has a different requirement in terms of visas and in terms of documentations and something like that, and these schools are not too much knowledgeable regarding every country. So sometimes that problem occurs, and many people are facing that problem because they have been given false hopes and false impression by some agencies sitting in their country. So I personally suggest that take the help of the people who have already gone through with that process, and who are in the process and who are in the same field. So that way they can guide you and help you professionally to get that thing done and get that thing faster. So that is my suggestion. So as I said, in terms of documentation, state choosing doesn't make a lot of difference. How you do the documentation, that makes a big difference. Now coming to the fourth point is that in terms of the exam dates. Now many of the questions are also come that in which state you get the appointment faster, in which state there is a long waiting time for the FSP and KP exam. Well, again this is also a demand and supply thing. So it doesn't remain fixed. Okay, so for example, if in some state right now the waiting time is 4 months, but by the time you come to that stage, it will be around 6 months or maybe 9 months or a year. So generally the waiting time is in a range of 3 to 6 months in terms of FSP, and for the KP it is around 6 months. But it keeps on changing, so I cannot tell you sure, because if you are watching this video and if you haven't applied for any state till now, then by the time you reach to this FSP exam termine or appointment thing, it will be approximately around 1 to 1.5 years, because you will require time for your language, your documentation, your visa. Then you come here, you learn FSP classes, and then you apply. So all this will take around 1 to 1.5 years minimum, and during that time a lot of things can change. So my personal suggestion is that you don't overthink about that, and don't follow those things that okay, right now some state has faster FSP date and suddenly apply and you hope to get that date sooner. So that might not happen. Okay, so it's all about luck thing. We should be at the right place at the right time. That is the only thing that can help. So yeah, so that is regarding in terms of the FSP date choosing. So again, in this state, state doesn't play a huge role. So now the most common question comes is that what happens if we want to change the state? If you are not happy to be in one state, or if you are not getting a job in one state, what to do? Can you change the state? Well, I'll discuss about the 3 different scenarios. Okay, so post KP exam, 100% you can do whatever you want. Once you have cleared the KP exam, you are a king or a queen. You have thousands and thousands of jobs open for you, and you can go anywhere you want. You won't face a lot of problems with that. Also, to changing the state, changing the city, you can move around anywhere. Okay, so you don't have to worry about after KP exam that if any problem occurs. Now second scenario is after FSP exam. Theoretically it is also possible to change the state after FSP exam, that you give a FSP exam in one state and then move to other state for further process. For that, if you are on a dependent visa, for like if you are on with your husband or your wife is there on dependent visa, then you have to show your documentation. You have to give actually the exact and a good reason to the dental council that why do you want to change the state. It is not going to be that okay, now I have given FSP exam here, now I'll apply for KP exam in that. It is not going to work like that. You have to apply to the dental council to that particular state, that why do you want to change that state. So if you are on a dependent visa, you have to show maybe the work contract of your husband or your address or something like that, and that generally works. And if you are coming on alone and then you want to change, then you have to show some documents, like if you have got the job in other state, then you have to show the job contract, you have to submit the job contract, you have to be write down proper application and all that, and request them to change the state. Most of the time any problem doesn't occur. I have heard that sometimes some states will not allow the FSP exam taken in other state. They might ask you to repeat this exam, or they might sometimes they might ask you to repeat the entire documentation process also. And once you have applied for the changing the state, there is no turning back. So if you are taking my suggestion, and if you are coming on your own, or if you are coming alone, not on a dependent visa, then please don't do these kind of things, okay. Don't do unnecessarily complicate your process, okay, because end of the day it will prolong your time, and it will increase your waste of money also. So my personal opinion is that don't think about that, okay, unless and until if it's an emergency situation, then it's okay. Otherwise I personally don't prefer those things. So this is generally I think covered all about the states. End of the day, I would say that only with this first the job scenario thing which I have discussed regarding the temporary license allowance, and that is the only thing that matters in terms of choosing the state. Otherwise everything else, state doesn't play that much of a huge role. So please don't overthink regarding which state to choose, and okay, now I am in this state, what is going to happen with me, and something like that. And I have also discussed that changing the state is also possible. So if you have more queries, and if you are in some bad situation or something like that, I can help you to get out from that. So, and if you haven't started your documentation process, and if you have some doubts that which state and which thing is best for you, how to go about for you, then you can contact me. The link is in a description box. I am helping so many dentists achieve their goal, those who have contacted me with the Zoom, and I can help you also. So till then, have a nice day.